The idea for those really came from the amount of messages I get for, you know, I've got a Strat, really love it, hate the bridge pickup.
Really nice.
My ethos in a way is like, try not to be a proponent of snake oil.
We are talking to Green Pickups, and we are looking at the brand new pickups. What are these called?
Strat Staple.
Beautiful. I gotta say, I've never seen this before. I don't know if anyone else does them.
They don't. And
don't copy that. So what we were just discussing essentially is the problem most of us have with the bridge pickup on Strats, or many of us have, which is it being a bit too ice picky, a bit too not full enough.
Yeah.
And so this should, in theory, go towards fixing that.
A few people who sort of Gibson players who have put these in the Strat said like he sort of matches the Gibson sound ones.
I don't see why you wouldn't be able, for example, to put these in a Telecaster.
You might need a little bit of routing.
Yeah,
but it would work. Yeah, and I do.
And it would sound awesome.
I do a Tele bridge staple as well.
Okay.
Which is a little bit more like, you know, the original staple.
Yeah.
Just because constraints, space constraints and stuff like that. These are made slightly different to the original Gibson staple because of, you know, it's a bigger bobbin essentially in the Tele. So
that is really interesting.
It's one of those, you know, just sticking in your bridge.
Yeah.
And if you're happy with your neck, most people love the neck of the Strat.
Yeah.
Middle never gets used.
Exactly.
Most people don't like the bridge, you know. The spacing is, you know, 52 mil, so it should match most Strats.
Yes.
Not that matters for tone, but aesthetics.
And it's just a straight swap.
Straight swap, yeah.
Nice and easy.
Like I said, I use a 500k pot on the volume, but that's because, you know, I've been hard of hearing in my own day. So.
But you don't, you can work with what you've got.
Yeah, you
don't necessarily have to. I think, again, when we're talking about we're at a custom guitar show here, this for £100 or less for one of them is the best way to customize your existing guitar.
The market is quite saturated for pickups, you know, and you can get decent pickups for relatively, you know, inexpensive. But if you want something different, and that is actually going to sound different to what you've already got in.
And again, I think very important to know, people can have a conversation with you. And tell you absolutely. What you may, because as a player, I don't have a tenth of the understanding that you have. Maybe like using those famous loose words like growl or things that in real world don't mean anything. You can translate that without the marketing involved that normally you get inevitably on with big builders. Everything in life right now is marketing, and so you never know if you can trust it.
No, that's kind of my ethos in a way, is like, you know, try not to use or try not to be a proponent of snake oil.
Yeah.
Pickups are a much of a muchness. There are only a couple of different types, essentially, which, if we're truthful, is humbuckers, single barrels, maybe P90s. And everything really is an offshoot of that.
Exactly.
But the main thing is, you know, finding something comfortable playing. They might, you know, you might get two Strat sets which are very similar.
Yes.
But subjectively, you might prefer, you know, they might have the same specs.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Everything's different.
Yeah.
And again, it's customizing your guitar for not a lot of money. And I know maybe a lot of people in this show will have feelings that go to the contrary, but I personally believe that the pickup is probably the most important thing in your guitar in terms of tone.
Yeah.
Don't tell anyone.
No comment.
But that can make a massive difference. Yeah. So if the guitar is comfortable to play and you've got a good pickup in it, you're halfway there. Especially for a young player, for example, who's got a guitar he's been playing for a while, just grows out of the sound, just change your pickups.
Exactly. And even
very easy way to do it.
You've got cheap guitar, 9 times out of 10 they have ceramic pickups in.
Yep.
Switching to Alnico. I mean, I quite like the ceramic tone because it's quite bright and great for my hearing, but you know, a lot of people associate with a cheap guitar.
Yeah.
So that can just totally change somebody's like opinion of a guitar just by switching magnetite.
Absolutely.
You know, and vice versa.
And that's a nice segue to it. I guess the most important thing though is the continuous innovation that you do, because all these products are not, you're not just rehashing in your own way existing products. You're researching things, you're coming up with new ideas. This is as we said, brand new. I've never seen this before. And talking about that, we've got another example, I think, of it, which is this beauty. Do you want to tell us about this one?
Yeah, so this is the Stratbucker. Essentially, it's 2 Strat pickups in Humbucker.
Okay.
There was a guitar player, it's called Robbie Robertson, who had something similar. He basically put 2 Strat pickups
close together.
Yeah. The idea really behind it was to try and make something, again, to try and solve that problem where, the bridge is not, when you kick it to bridge, you want to do something where, it doesn't quite get you there. But I wanted it to be splittable and still
and retain that original single.
What you get in Humbucker form really is just a mid-range.
Yes.
Is inherent pickups. But yeah, essentially 2 Strat bobbins together. There's no bar magnet. The poles are the magnets.
Yeah.
So that's like, a big difference.
One of the problems, for example, as a player, I've always had with splitting a humbucker is never really sounds that good, does it?
No.
There are very few examples where it works. But here, essentially, you're literally like just using a normal single coil.
Essentially, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Just so you can retain that kind of Strat.
Exactly. That's
you have to go in Strat, but it's difficult to get a decent humbucker for a Strat. And I don't know whether that's to do with the weight of the guitar or maybe a number of things.
And the applications again on this, I think maybe it's the way I'm built, but I would immediately think even a Les Paul type guitar with those would sound pretty cool. Yeah. You could do so many things with that.
It doesn't have to go in.
Have you tried it on the neck? Stick up.
I've not actually. There is a builder here. Most all the guitars who's got it in. Who's got that pickup in like a Ethos coronet style guitar. It's just a 1 pickup guitar, and he's got like a trem pot on it, and it splits, and it sounds great in that style.
Fantastic, really good.
It is pretty versatile.
As we were just saying, these are examples, but I guess the sky's the limit within possibilities of what you can do. But I think the one thing to make clear is that your prices are very, I personally would say reasonable, but also that you can work with the person. If they say my budget is this, then you can work with them in order to kind of find a meeting.
I think, again, like the reason I sort of started building pickups as a company was because I've bought very expensive pickups and been underwhelmed. So one of the main ideas of doing it was trying to do it for a reasonable price.
Exactly.
And because they're an important part of an electric guitar. They're not the only part. So why would you pay 700 quid for it?
Absolutely.
That's just wouldn't ever sort of like enter my consciousness really.
And sometimes logically thinking about it, buying a £500 pickup for a guitar that only costs you 300.
I know, yeah.
It doesn't really make sense. But what you're doing here is providing better quality at a range that is more accessible, but also is more individual and it's tailored to the person.
I think so.
And you're not just going off the shelf. Another really important thing to mention, just looking at the pickups, is the aesthetics. You can choose what kind of look you want, the design, color, everything. So it's true personalization, I think, and
that's the way that I kind of see green pickups is to be a bit more custom and move away from like generic. Scrap.
These are 2 examples. They're the ones I think that are the newest, and they differ, but there's also traditional Strat sets. There's Tele sets. There's a more traditional line as well. So you can do the whole range.
Yeah, the whole shebang.
Okay, that's it, guys. It was a real honor and pleasure to catch up with my good friend Leigh, and stay tuned for more Woken Guitar Show interviews. Peace. Thanks for watching.